Welcome to my Job Search International crash course on how to find work overseas. And in this video, I'm just going to quickly go over the main aspects of creating a job search strategy. And then in following videos, I'll be delving into some more detail on how you can actually create a strategy for yourself to find work overseas. So this video is primarily focused on the Netherlands as a country, as this is a prime destination for many South Africans. As a matter of fact, there's about 40,000 South Africans working in Netherlands. There's about 100,000 living in Netherlands, but 40,000 of those South Africans are actually working. So it's a large number of South Africans, and Netherlands has become a much more popular destination internationally since COVID, and continues to attract a lot of top South Africans and South Africans that can fulfill many different tasks and many different roles. So it's a really great country, and families of all ages move to the Netherlands as a top destination. Okay, so let's just get into it. The job search process for Netherlands is quite technical. It is not very complex, and in my view, pretty easy to navigate if you follow a few simple steps and you're prepared to do a little bit of hard work and actually apply yourself to the process. And honestly, you will definitely find work in Netherlands if you have the right skills, and particularly if you have the right qualifications and in that combination. And if those two things are well aligned, finding work in Netherlands could take you anything from 3 to 8 months, 9 months. And it really depends on how much work you're prepared to put into it. Okay, so let's talk about the main aspects of the actual job search process and finding work. And the first aspect for me is getting your CV done. So really one of the most important aspects of any job search is always going to be the CV. And in particular, the Dutch CV is quite a technically orientated CV. It's quite unlike the South African CVs. The South African CVs today can be up to 3 pages, sometimes longer, very similar to the Australian CV, the South African CV. But the Dutch CV is a 2-page document. And very, very importantly, the 2 aspects to concentrate on in the CV is narrative and technical skills. So that's the first element, is to make sure that your CV is up to scratch. The second element is your cover letter and also the documents that you're going to use as part of your process. So the cover letter also includes your blurb, and the blurb you'll use in your LinkedIn and other social media posts, but mainly LinkedIn. So your cover letter and your blurb you can create using things like ChatGPT. It's not very difficult. There's a few tricks which I cover in some of my videos. Okay, the third element is the actual planning, and that entails aspects such as where you would like to go in the Netherlands, and more importantly, the types of roles. So that's really, really critical. Most people miss this step generally in their process. What they do is they take their current title, try and reciprocate it, and then try and apply for those titles on places like LinkedIn, etc., etc. That's not the way to do it. In the Netherlands specifically, the roles are different, and you're going to have to do some research to identify which roles are suited to you, to your CV, and more importantly, the titles. The title in the CV must align with the title that you're applying to. Otherwise, the reader's not going to know what is going on. Okay. The next aspect is the actual execution part of your job search. Once your CV is done, you've got a good cover letter and a blurb, and you've identified the types of roles that you want to apply for. The next very important aspect is to now start making applications. And for that process, the primary part of that entire process is repetition and continuous applications. Most people try for a few weeks, they get lost in the process, they can't come right, and then they just decide to just flog it, and they don't get anywhere. Okay, your job search process could take anything up to 9 months, and therefore you have to be ready to actually put in the hard work and do the applications. So how many applications do you need to apply for here? Well, that depends on what you do and the availability of roles. So if you are a financial controller or a chartered accountant, there's going to be lots of roles. You can do many applications in a week. My suggestion is to do up anything from 10 to 30 applications a week. And then if you're in a slightly more senior position, you would want to make less applications with higher value. So you want to do your applications and maybe adjust your cover letter because you're at a little bit more of a senior level, and the application process is going to be a little bit longer. Okay, so that execution process is really critical. You've got to keep track of it. We supply a spreadsheet where you can put all those applications into that spreadsheet. And my suggestion is to you that every single day you put some time aside, you do your applications, you look at who's responded, keep an eye on your LinkedIn profile, and manage the process like that. Okay. From a point of view of the job search, the most important thing is after 3 months to review your progress. So now maybe you've made 100, 200 applications, and a lot of people are saying, oh, that's a hell of a lot. It's actually not a lot. And you want to look at that and see, okay, is your CV actually aligned? Are you heading in the right direction? Have you had some sort of a feedback? And then to make adjustments to your CV and your LinkedIn profile, especially if you believe that that those things are not working for you. Okay. Repeat. That is ultimately the way to find work, especially in a country like the Netherlands. And ensure that you are applying for the right role. So the technical elements in your CV must match the technical elements in the job search. But essentially, those are the main steps in your job search. It's very, very easy. The nice part about a country like the Netherlands is no agencies involved. You don't have to do any accreditation of qualifications or anything like that. You can just start applying. And once you have your role with a sponsor, they're going to make you the offer, and you're going to then get your sponsorship visa. And therefore, it's a very simple process, and one of the reasons why I suggest Netherlands as the top country for South Africans. Okay, good luck. There's lots of other videos to follow. You can move through my videos and look at some of the more relevant topics that are aligned with the actual job search process. But those are the main elements, just to break it down easily for you when moving into the space. Okay, good luck with your job search, and see you on the other side.